Hey guys, how you all doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you may be. I'm Don the Expert Calls here from VideoGamesUncovered.com, and we are having another VGU Talks session. If you don't know what VGU Talks is about, well, we just sit down and have a nice conversation about something happening within the gaming universe. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to be touching a subject today, which, well, quite frankly, everyone's putting their money on, and I'm going to put my money on, alright? As in, not put my money on. Let's get to it. So, a lot of people have been talking about virtual reality recently. At GDC, Sony came out revealing Project Mortheus, their brand new VR headset that's supposed to go toe-to-toe with the Oculus Rift. Now, I've already tried out the Oculus Rift in one of its beta forms at the Gadget Show last year before Christmas. It was alright. It's pretty cool. I could dig it. And of course, Microsoft have came out and they're saying that they are interested in the world of virtual reality, and they're probably going to throw their virtual reality headset or whatever they're going to do VR wise at some point later in the year. Maybe at E3, maybe at Gamescom. It's all up in the air at the moment. Everyone's going VR crazy, at least from a business standpoint. So where do I stand on this whole VR situation? Quite honestly, do we even need VR? Are we at that level where VR is now going to become the necessity, the next level, and all that jazz? In my personal opinion, no. And although I might be a fan of animes that do use VR headsets, like Dot Hack, like Sword Arts Online, I don't think we're ready for anything like that just yet. Oh no. And I'm not talking about the horror stories of being stuck in the video game world or being shoved into a coma if you die in the game. No, I'm not talking about that whatsoever. My complaint is from three different standpoints. It's from the standpoint of the consumer, it's from the standpoint of how much money it's going to cost to develop for these headsets, and it's also a problem for the developers themselves. So let's go at it one part at a time. Starting it all off with the consumer. So as we already know, this generation's lineup of consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One, pretty darn expensive. The most expensive consoles we have had to date. The PS4 kicking it all off at the £400 mark. The Xbox One kicking it off at about the £500 mark, at least here in the UK. That's how it's rolling. Do you really want to spend the equal amount of money, or around, I believe the Oculus Rift plans to be priced around £250 over here in the UK, from what I've heard? Do we want to spend that much on a peripheral? Because I'm not gonna lie, that's what it is. It's not a full-on independent games console. It's a peripheral. It's something that you may need to acquire in order to play a specific game in a specific way. Now, are you gonna fork out 250 quid for a peripheral? I'm not. I don't have that much money coming at me to afford something like that. I've only just barely been able to afford a PS4. I'm not nearly gonna have enough to get into virtual reality. And in my own personal opinion, I don't even think the technology is there yet. I know we're years ahead of where we were with the Virtual Boy back in the day, but seriously, are we really setting ourselves up for the next level where this year we're all going to be talking about VR, and then all the VR headsets are going to come out and no one's going to care? And I can tell you right now, no one's going to care. Because if I link this to, let's say, another fad that happened a little while back, motion controls back in the PS3, Xbox 360 and Wii era. Remember when the Wii came out and they said, we have motion controls, and everyone went nuts and they bought the console. The console did pretty darn well, mind you, and I really dig the Wii for its own lineup of games. But the third-party titles? Ouch! You could either barely get any third-party titles that were half decent on the Wii, or even then, developers have openly came out saying that developing for the Wii has been terrible. It's been painful, and it's been costing them so much more money to try and develop for that console because it was so hard, when it doesn't nearly cost as much to develop for the other two in the war. And what happened with motion controls? We had the Wii, we had the PlayStation Move. I can't even think of a game that really utilized the PlayStation Move. There's probably one out there. I haven't seen it, I haven't played it, but PlayStation Move, it's there. I'm not gonna pay to get a PlayStation Move just to play Time Crisis 4. Because, no, my favourite was the original Time Crisis. So, unless you're gonna release that, no PlayStation Move for me. And do I dare step into the Kinect territory? Everyone's put their voice on it, everyone's put their money into it, and the Kinect is still not there yet. The original Kinect, you remember? Everyone had problems with the original Kinect, not being able to detect leaning, not being able to detect this, that, and the other. Kinect 2.0, no one talks about it. No one talks about it. And you know why no one talks about Kinect 2.0? Because it's still not there yet. It's still the same Kinect. It just has slightly better cameras. That's it. Motion controls were a fad, and they've quickly gone. VR is another fad that is again going to quickly go away as soon as it's out there and as soon as it's been released. I can tell you that from a consumer standpoint. But take a step back for a second. I was also saying this could be a problem from the developer's standpoint. And let's have a think about this for a second. We already know that video games nowadays cost an obscene amount of money to produce, market, develop, and all that jazz. If we throw in VR into the mix, the prices to make those video games are going to go up even more. If they go up even more, we're going to be spending more to get the video games that we want to play with this technology. Effectively, we're going to be possibly end up paying £80 for a game that can be played with the Oculus Rift, or the Project Mortheus, or the Microsoft VR headset. Do we really want to pay that much? Are the developers ready to fork out more money to make games that specifically work with this peripheral that not many people can possibly go in with? It's very hard to say, and I don't think it's going to happen. You want to hear it from a developer standpoint? Here's a standpoint for you. Someone from Ubisoft has come out saying that virtual reality devices need to sell at least 1 million units before Ubisoft gets even interested into them. Now this is an interesting tale, and this actually comes from the Vice President of Creative, Lionel Reynard. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I very much apologise. And he said this after the whole Oculus Rift versus Project Mortheus thing came out. VR would need to sell at least 1 million units to be viable for development. Yeah, that's a thing. However, ever since he said that, Ubisoft have came out with a statement regarding the comments, saying, Ubisoft is always excited about new hardware and platforms and creating innovative experiences. Lionel did mention a number at the GDC dinner, however it was not a literal number that Ubisoft takes into consideration when looking at delivering game experiences and content for new platforms. In fact, the point he was making was that a number like that would be a leading indicator for growth and impact that would lead to success and adoption from the development community. While Ubisoft continues to work closely with all our hardware partners, we have nothing new to share at this point in time in regard to these new VR opportunities. If one man from Ubisoft, one man, can come out and say a number and say 1 million units would have to be sold to get me interested, just imagine what other developers are going to be like. Just imagine. If Ubisoft aren't going to get interested unless it hits 1 million, who else is going to be interested before it hits 1 million? We don't know. We literally have no idea. It's... virtual reality is just a tough topic. Yes, it'll be fun. Yes, it'll be innovative. Yes, we're a creative industry. We need to evolve. We need to keep moving forward. We need new ideas, new experiences, new versions of fun. But VR? Really? Remember when every game was saying we have 3D technology? And everyone laughed at it because no one wanted 3D? I don't think anyone really wants virtual reality to play video games. Nothing is going to beat sitting down with a controller, playing the game as you normally play it. A peripheral is a peripheral in the end of the day, and of course you will always find a market for someone that will be interested in something like this. As for me, I'm not interested in VR. I think VR is not there yet. The technology is interesting, don't get me wrong, and it's quite fun and enjoyable, but in an actual gaming experience, I just think it's going to be way too expensive, it's going to be overhyped, and it's not going to meet our expectations as gamers, because our expectations are really friggin' high. So that's what I've got to say about virtual reality, ladies and gents. Let me know what you guys think about VR in the comments below. Do you think Mortheus, do you think Oculus Rift, and do you think the potential Microsoft headsets are going to revolutionize the gaming industry? Or do you think it's just going to be one of those fads that quickly fade out after the end of this year or next year? Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time for another edition of VGU Talks.